Inside the Winchester Mystery House. Have you ever heard of a house so twisted that it has doors leading to nowhere, stairs that spiral into ceilings, and 160 rooms built to trap ghosts? A place where construction never stopped for 38 years, all because the owner believed her life depended on it? Guys, I can't believe I'm finally telling you about this, but have you ever heard of a house so strange, so mysterious, that it's been called the most haunted house in America? What would you call a location when the stairs lead to nowhere? Doors open to brick walls, and windows look out over other rooms? The Winchester Mystery House is a large, maze-like mansion located near San Jose, California, with a history that is as twisted as its passageways. It is necessary to begin with Sarah Winchester in order to comprehend the reason for the Winchester Mystery House's transformation into such a peculiar and otherworldly marvel. Sarah Lockwood Pardee was a brilliant, well-educated woman who was fluent in numerous languages and a talented musician. She was born in 1839 to an affluent family in New England. In the year 1862, she tied the knot with William Wirt Winchester, who was the heir to the enormous Winchester Repeating Arms Company. This company was the supplier of the well-known Winchester rifle, also known as the gun that won the West. At first, their marriage appeared to be a fairy tale. Nevertheless, tragedy soon appeared in their lives. On the other hand, William's passing brought about a stunning legacy. After inheriting $20 million, which is equivalent to over $600 million today, and over 50% of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, Sarah found herself suddenly among the wealthiest women in the world. This gave her a daily income of $1,000, which is equivalent to approximately $30,000 in today's currency. It is stated that the weight of this blood money tormented Sarah for the rest of her life. However, this windfall came at a terrible cost, and it is said that Sarah has never been able to forget it. Do you receive a message from the afterlife? Sarah, who was tormented by feelings of shame and grief, decided to seek the advice of a medium in Boston. This medium is said to have conveyed a terrifying message, which stated that the souls of those who had been killed by Winchester rifles had cursed her family and sought vengeance. Sarah was reportedly warned by the psychic that the awful end that befell her family was a punishment for the countless lives that were taken by her husband's firearms, and that the angry spirits would come for her next unless she appeased them. There was, however, a way to avoid incurring their fury. Following the advice of the medium, Sarah was instructed to move west and build a house for the spirits. What is the catch? The spirits would take her if she ever stopped building, so she must never stop building. Consequently, in the year 1884, Sarah packed her belongings and left her lavish estate in New Haven. She then traveled to San Jose, California, where she made the purchase of a humble 8-room farmhouse situated on a large 160-acre tract. Sarah was responsible for overseeing every aspect of the project, frequently drawing ideas on napkins and pieces of paper. She was also continually adding rooms, wings, towers, and other non-traditional architectural elements. What is the end result? A nightmare architectural design consisting of 160 rooms, complete with winding corridors, dead ends, hidden tunnels, and stairs that lead nowhere, is described. As a result of the fact that the Winchester house was intentionally designed to be a labyrinth, many people believe that Sarah was attempting to confuse and imprison the ghosts who haunted her. 77 stairs, 2,000 entrances, 10,000 windows, 13 baths, 6 kitchens, and more than 52 skylights are all part of the mansion's complexity. However, not all of these doors and windows lead to the places that you might anticipate. Staircases to nowhere. There is a staircase that ascends in a spiraling fashion for 7 straight steps before coming to a sudden halt at the ceiling. Among the doors to nowhere, there are some that open into brick walls, some that drop down into thin air, and still others that drop 15 feet into the garden below. Sarah has the ability to keep an eye on her slaves because to the fact that the house is filled with hidden doors and secret tunnels. One of these routes is a little door that connects to a window that only allows visibility in one direction. There are windows that open into other rooms, and some of them are set into floors and ceilings because there does not appear to be any logical justification for their placement. The $25,000 room, Sarah spent a fortune on some of the rooms in the estate, including one that featured stained glass windows made by Louis Comfort Tiffany and a crystal chandelier. This room, which cost $25,000, is now worth more than $750,000. The fact that Sarah is so preoccupied with the number 13 is one of the most peculiar elements of the Winchester House family. Symbolic act that was supposed to protect her from the restless dead, and that it was a ritualistic attempt to ward off spirits. The Winchester House was shaken by the earthquake that occurred in San Francisco in 1906, and Sarah was unable to escape from one of her many hidden rooms for several hours. When she was ultimately set free, she saw this as a sign that the spirits were vindictive and had punished her for putting a halt to the construction. Instead of restoring the damaged areas, she simply had them walled off, leaving entire wings of the home abandoned and frozen in time due to the fact that they were not repaired. The death of Sarah Winchester occurred on September 5, 1922, when she was 82 years old. She went away gently while sleeping. The construction of the house came to an immediate halt as soon as her employees learned of her passing. The nails were only halfway hammered and sawdust was still present in the air. In her testament, Sarah specifically named her niece and her personal secretary as the recipients of her valuables. However, the house itself was never mentioned. After being put up for auction, it was eventually opened to the general public as a tourist attraction, including a haunted house for those who are both curious and courageous. As a result of its status as a historic site, the Winchester Mystery House regularly receives thousands of visitors each year. There have been innumerable ghost searches as well as television dramas, movies, and documentaries that have been based on it. It is even possible to go on a flashlight tour at night, during which you will meander through the dark and creaky corridors in the hopes of catching a glimpse of Sarah or one of her ghostly inhabitants. In spite of all the rumors, it is quite unlikely that we will ever learn the real reasons behind Sarah's never-ending construction activity. Were feelings of remorse and grief, or was it simply a woman's gradual decline into insanity? To put it another way, did Sarah truly feel that she was constructing a sanctuary for the dead, as some people assert? Regardless of whether or not you believe in ghosts, the Winchester Mystery House continues to be one of the most interesting and unnerving places in the world. It is a location where architecture and the supernatural come together in a complex web of wood, glass, and darkness. Therefore, the next time you find yourself in San Jose, you might wish to pay a visit, providing that you have the courage to do so. If you're loving these deep dives into the world's creepiest mysteries and haunted places, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss a chilling new upload.